Good morning, YouTube. It's a Mega Marvin morning this morning. Oh, can everybody say mega? Oh, yes, it's big, wonderful, great things happening to this morning. Across the world, people are raising their consciousness. They're bringing in this new earth. They're bringing in this period of this new age that has already started, is beginning to mushroom, beginning to raise people's consciousness, beginning to bring them more joy, more enthusiasm, and more abundance. And every time I hear about another one, and I've heard about a bunch more of them just since yesterday, receiving more abundance in their life, and receiving greater joy and happiness, receiving healing in their body. And every time that happens, I just get more and more enjoyable, and you're more and more enthusiastic and determined to meditate more and send out more thoughts of healing and more thoughts of joy and ecstasy, because we should really stop and realize this morning and really first realize what all is going on in the world, how that this new age is here, and how that consciousness is being transformed. But then we should realize that as we get in a meditative state and go over that and begin to get excited about it and begin to get happy about it and begin to get thrilled about it and begin to let these thoughts go through our mind, that brings more healing into this earth. That brings more healing into the earth. We're all connected. We're all one with infinite mind. It's time to realize we're one with God. It's time to realize that we're one with infinite mind. It's time to realize we're one with a source that has everything, a source that has all healing power, a source that has all joy, a source that has all ecstasy, a source that has every good thing that you need. We're all one with that now. It's time to get our creative juices going. It's time to get our mind ready. It's time to start writing our books. It's time for us to start making our speeches. It's time for us to really get on the trail. It's time for us to get on this thing. It's time for the leaders among us to come out and make themselves known. Come out and make yourself known that you are one with an infinite source, that you're one, and you realize that you've got the creative ability to do the leadership, that you've got the power behind you, that you have the energy. Come out and explain your energy. Explain where your energy is coming from. Get in your meditative state and get that energy, then come out and explain where it's coming from, and begin to help to change this world, and for more people to get in on the change. It's going to change regardless of what you're thinking that are listening right now. The world is in the process of changing and evolving. Our consciousness has come to that point to where the new age is being ushered in. We've been evolving ever since the entire chaos of the world turned into light and began to form human beings. We've been evolving. Our mind's been evolving ever since then, and in certain places of the world, evolving a lot faster than others. In certain places, it was lagged behind, but it's been evolving somewhere at a good rate ever since then. And so now it is beginning to spread across the entire face of the globe to every country and every place. Not any place in the globe that people are not raising their consciousness somewhat. You just think about it. There's no place on the face of this earth where people are not at least raising their consciousness a little bit over what they did 100, 200 years ago. And so we have just got exciting times to look forward to, and it's a time for us to begin to get into that and to begin to push out and to begin to do everything that we can do to help this situation, and we'll be able to get our finances around the world. It's always, people are always in the people that are still in the low state of consciousness that don't realize how powerful source is, and how many of us are joining in and receiving all of that, and joining hands to receive the power that comes from an infinite mind, God source. They don't realize that, and so they keep getting on there and they try to pick the date. Oh, they're going to pick the date when doom is coming, and they're going to pick the date, not even realizing this is a new age, and that's at the end of the other age, the old age, all of that doom had that was coming had already happened, and that it went out with the old age, and now this new age is coming in which things are going to begin to sparkle more and more and flourish more and more, and yet they keep coming out try to pick the date when the dollar is going to crash. Pick the date when the politics in America is going to crash, and pick the date when the oil is going to, gasoline is going to go 10 times higher than it is now, or something like that. Some kind of disaster. Somebody's always trying to pick a date on that so that they can be thought of as being brilliant and smart, instead of just getting to a meditative state, getting themselves one with infinite mind, and realizing that to be really intelligent and smart and creative, you're going to realize that you're going to spend your time thinking about love, joy, and peace, and helping to bring that more into the world, and helping to be a channel for that, and allowing that to flow through you. Allow the rivers of living water to flow through you. John 7:38 says, "He that cometh to me," Jesus was the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus was the source, representing the source. He said, "I'm representing the source. I'm representing the infinite mind, who is the way, the truth, and the life." Now I'm one. He said, "I am one with the Father. The Father is one with me. I'm in the Father. The Father is in me, and I and you in me, and we're all one." And I'm representing that, and as representing that is the way, the truth, and the life. And he said, "You come to that source, to that way, the truth, and the life. Out of your innermost being would flow rivers of living water." Now that living water means immortal. That means eternal, immortal. If it means he didn't mean it's living for a few years. It was living for 100 years. It was living for 1,000 years, and then it would die. He said that living water he's talking about is water that would never die, was incapable of death. Water that is incapable of death. There's eternal, immortal water, and that would begin to flow out of us. Now, you ask yourself, if you turn to that and you have that flowing out of you, how is that going to be with inside you flowing out without at least affecting the cells of your body a little bit, which after all are mostly spirit anyway, and mostly light. Most of it's light, and there's a distance. It's just like the universe, like I say, as below. As above, so below. The universe is within each cell, within each atom of our body, and there's that much space between all of everything as it is between us and the other galaxies of the universe. It's just like that, and so it's mostly light, and it's mostly spirit. But just think about how that's going to affect the outward physical parts of your cells and your body and your organs and your mind and everything, to have a eternal, immortal, undying water flowing out of you. And it can't flow out of you without touching you on the way out. And just think about that. It can't flow out to you without flowing out into this world and affecting other people that are in a receptive state to receive it. As it begins to flow out of us, it's going to affect other people, going to raise them up. So as I say, it's a mega Marvy morning, because we've got a mega source that is giving us mega thoughts, and is affecting mega things, and is doing mega bringing in a mega age, and giving us a new mega earth that is full of mega flourishing, eternal, wonderful abundance for everyone. And it's going to cause even the deserts to flourish with new life, and it's going to cause every country of this world you won't see any more of these people laying around on the streets in certain countries without enough to eat, without enough weight on their bones. You won't see any more of that. That's going to begin to change, and I'm telling you right now, our thoughts are helping to affect that change. And I'm thinking of those thoughts all the time, and trying to get other people to do it. Try to bring out leaders that will think of those thoughts. And so those thoughts are going forth. They're going forth, and they're going to happen. And we're beginning to receive this new earth, and welcoming it. It's coming. Like I say, whether we receive it or not, but we're beginning to welcome it, and that's helping us to begin to have more in our life as we begin to welcome what's coming. If we resist what's coming, then we're going to, at least for a while, we're going to stay in a whatever depressed mood we're in or fearful mood? Are we going to believe all these people that's always talking about doom? We're going to believe in the end of the world, and we're going to believe that there's never enough resources. Oh, resources are running out, and I'm here to say the resources are not running out. I'm here to tell you for sure that we haven't even begun to discover our resources. Of course, the main resource that there is in this world today is our mind, and that mind, as it begins to flourish and evolve, is going to have the intelligent ability to discover more resources. We haven't begun to discover the resources because our mind hadn't even been evolved to the point where we know where the resources are, and how to discover them, how to utilize them. To the extent we know a lot about how to utilize them, but not to the extent that we're going to. And so our mind is beginning to evolve. And so I want to see these evolved leaders beginning to push out and begin to move out and begin to make straight the way for truth and enlightenment and for oneness and unity around the world. I want to see countries come together. I want to see leaders come together. And when they get together and talk, they'll begin to come together in love and joy and mutual understanding. And instead of this spirit of aggression and fighting, and this spirit of not getting along, the spirit of I'm going to have it my way, or that's all, or I'm just not going to deal with you. I'm going to rule over. I'm going to rule my sphere despite what it does to anybody else. I'm not going to get along. I'm going to determine that I'm going to be the one that's going to take over half the world, and the heck with the rest of it all. Maybe I'll get that too. That's what like some of the leaders of the world are thinking. They're always thinking about how I can grab on to more and how I can be more powerful, rather than realizing that all that does is impoverish the world. What's going to bring the world more prosperity and abundance is for everyone to get together and work together and realize that there's plenty of resources for everybody. There's plenty of land for everybody, because it's going to flourish 1,000 times what it is now. There's plenty of space. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of abundance. There's plenty of resources. There's plenty of mind power. There's plenty of ability to create the technology we need to completely refurbish this entire earth, completely rejuvenate it and remodel it. We're going to remodel it. It's like a shack right now. It's like a little shack. This earth is like a little shack out back, that's just about to fall down, in appearance, it's compared to what I'm talking about, it compared to what it's getting ready to be. But we're getting ready, as this new age it continues, that shack, it's going to turn into a giant mansion, as it were, compared to that shack. We're getting ready to refurbish it and remodel it and build onto it and begin to bring it into prosperity and abundance, and we're going to begin to make it bigger and bigger. In my Father's house are many mansions. Jesus said that. There's many places in our consciousness. There's much room to grow. What he really meant was you have a whole lot of room to grow. You have a whole lot of room to expand your consciousness. And as you begin to expand your consciousness, you're going to see that there's so much more to you than what you thought before. So much more. You're so much more powerful. You're powerful creators. You're powerful being. You're powerful. You're infinite immortal. You have an infinite immortal nature that will never die. And your consciousness has an infinite degree to go. And as you begin to raise that consciousness more and more, you're going to be able to get the ideas to begin to help to refurbish this earth and turn it from a shack out back to a mansion that reaches across the entire face of the globe. And we're going to really have a wonderful, fruitful earth that's just going to spring up with every kind of a wonderful, delightful thing that anybody could ever imagine. And I just I get a marvelous feeling just thinking about that, and I just send out vibrations to that effect. Every morning I send out vibrations to that effect, and I'm going to keep doing it until everybody begins to receive it. Those that haven't already received it will begin to wake up and begin to receive these vibrations and these increased frequencies. Tanya Love always talks about these increased frequencies. I'm going to get her on here in a minute and let her begin to bring out her feelings of frequency. See, she's got a very good program going to here this morning. She's going to be talking about time for self-love. And oh, yes, it's a time for self-love. It's a time for us to recognize how powerful we are and what all we can do for this world and how much we can lead out and what all we can do if we'll just get on the stick, begin to lead instead of laying back into depression, laying back in fear and saying, oh, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can make it. I think it's too much corruption. I think people will oppose me. I just don't want to come out and lead. I don't want to come out and do anything. It's just too difficult. I'll just be happy with what I got. No, we need to move. It's time to move.